So this eFIXX journey, Joe, has taken us to some interesting places, and we've seen all kinds of different things, but as I look behind me, I've got a feeling Kevin McLeod's going to come and join us in a minute.
It does look a lot like a Grand Designs house, not only in how it looks on the outside, but also, and this is the important part, how it functions on the inside. Because what are we going to be looking at inside this property, Gary?
Possibly my biggest fear, the fear of something that's smart, okay? You know, it's not being smart myself. This property behind us is crammed packed full of smart technology. However, in a different way, Joe.
Absolutely. We're looking at some seamless integrations of smart technology. I've been sort of thinking of it as being like smart by stealth, because it's not in your face when you walk into the property. It's very well integrated into the property, and we're going to see some stunning solutions to the smart installation here, including some speakers that might just surprise you.
So we're going in to not see the smart. Is that the idea?
Effectively, let's go and not see it. Wow, Gary, what a beautiful home this is.
Wow being the word, Joe. Yeah. Every single window in this building frames the outside view perfectly. But as we've transitioned in here, I've picked up my old favourite, the remote control. I look behind me, the settees are pointing towards absolutely nothing that I would expect them to see pointing. So what's going on?
Yeah, there's no massively visible TV in here, is there? And that is part of what we're explaining outside. The smart technology in this property is here by stealth. And what we mean by that is that it's not in your face. A lot of it is hidden away behind the scenes where it's not immediately obvious. And actually, in this living area, the screen is hidden away in the ceiling. You can see that dropping down now. And we've even got a projector above our heads that is going to project the film and TV onto that beautiful big screen now.
Will the lighting change for the mood that we're now going to see?
Absolutely, it will, because that screen has started to drop down. The system has been programmed to reduce the lights down so that we're into home cinema mode, if you like.
Of course it has. That's fantastic. We've got the cinema up there, no 14-inch portable here.
No.
But it's got to be supplemented by quality sound.
Absolutely.
And you said that we're talking about stealth. Well, we've not got an invisible TV anymore. Okay, so how's the sound system working?
Again, we've got an invisible sound system installed here, because this just blows my mind. The speakers here are actually plastered into the ceiling.
Oh, right.
So they're not in the ceiling and you can see the grill sticking out. They are literally plastered over, which you might think, well, is that going to sound good? It sounds unbelievable. There's actually a full surround sound system installed that makes it feel like you're actually inside whatever's on the screen.
Above the seating area?
Above the seating area, and you wouldn't have a clue looking at the ceiling that it's there. And what's really nice as well is you've got massive subwoofers built into the wall over there, and the bass that comes out of those is eye-popping.
Of course you have.
You could feel that bass coming through the floor, couldn't you? That was amazing.
And it just reminds me, looking at the boot camp series, we obviously had Rich Heppel. This is one of Rich Heppel's projects, and I think he'd be the perfect person, wouldn't he, to go through what's actually happening in this installation.
Absolutely, and if I know Rich, he'll be hanging out at the AV rack, so let's go and find him. I told you where we'd find him, Gary, you see.
Hey, old boys, how are you doing?
Here's Rich, good to see you, man.
Good to see you, my friend.
We're all good.
Good stuff. The room of fear for you, Gary.
Absolutely, but I've just had a little bit of luck. Follow Rich on social media. I've just seen live in person rainbow spaghetti. Cables, we're okay when we see cables.
Up inside there we can see that colour coding system, and that really appeals to me, the fact you've got a colour coding system. So
it keeps everything nice and simple.
Absolutely, just whip us through the colours and what they mean again, Rich.
So we use red for general data. Orange is PoE as part of our control system. Blue is for Wi-Fi or video distribution. Purple is for speakers or sensors, and then the black is usually a coax cable or an external cable for running it outside.
Absolutely, love it. And really what we're looking at here in the rec, I mean, this is what brings the building together and connects all of the smart technology.
Yeah, so this is the heart of the home, really. And the reason that we put everything rack-based like this is, obviously in a beautiful home like this, you don't want to ruin the aesthetic. So by putting everything centrally in here, by accessible via Control4 on the touchscreen or the app or the remote, it just keeps everything really clean and tidy. Stealthy.
It's stealthy, yeah. We love that, yeah. And what was good when we came in, we had the wooden front on there, so actually under normal circumstances, you wouldn't see any of this.
No,
and you wouldn't even need to access it normally, really.
Not really, no. The way we design our systems, and if we've got a client having to go into the rack, I've not done my job properly.
Sure.
Right.
So, I mean, if it's daunting for you two guys with all these years of electrical experience, so imagine a standard, a standard homeowner walking into this and thinking, geez.
Yeah.
So what we do is we set it up by using a strong Pakedge network.
Yep.
So that's the networking brand of equipment that we use. Because everything in the home automation system works on a network pretty much, in one way or another. And then off the back of that, Pakedge do a really cool product called an IP PDU. And what that means is that the PDU, which is a power distribution unit, is connected onto the internet or as part of the Control4 system, and we can actually give the client the ability to reset something within here from an app, or even further still, 9 times out of 10, if I've ever noticed there's been an issue on the system will text me to tell me that there's been an issue, and I can reset that device remotely before the client even gets home and realises.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, we can also set the device up to schedule and do it. So if we've got a troublesome device, we can have it set to power cycle in the middle of the night.
That's brilliant. And that really is one of the, not the issues with smart, but it's one of the things that worries people is the fact what happens when it falls down. You know, when something goes wrong, obviously there's a lot of different connections and things connected in here. And that can cause a bit of fear for people. But you've kind of created, in using this rack system, first of all, a very stable system,
for sure,
so it doesn't fall down very often, and also a way of very quickly and easily being able to rectify anything that does go wrong.
So yeah, we've got an even quicker way for a client. So we design all our systems that have these. It does cost us some jobs, unfortunately, when a client doesn't see the value of having these pieces of equipment in the rack, but ultimately long term for us, it means we can support that system. Not just if we're in the building, if I'm anywhere within the world, we can assist the client with their system.
And there's quite a bit in there that I recognise, you know, I recognise Apple TV and an Xbox and an amp and bits and bobs, but there's some stuff in there that's not that familiar to me. But is that actually
battery backup
power supply?
That is a UPS battery backup system in the bottom. So we're providing 1500 VA and battery backup power to this. So how it comes in, the mains from your standard main supply, the 13 amp socket behind there, feeds the UPS, which in turn feeds the PDU, which in turn feeds the equipment. So what we have it set up to do is that if there is a power failure, the PDU will actually start turning devices off, leading back to the most important one. So it'll leave the Control4 brain, if you like, which we're using an EA3 processor in here, where you would turn off non-essential devices. Like as soon as the power detects it's gone out, maybe 30 seconds later, we'll turn off Apple TV, we'll turn off the Skybox, we'll turn off the amplifiers, and then slowly working back, turn off the Wi-Fi, the network, the CCTV, and lastly keeping a Control4 brain on.
So it shuts it down in a controlled fashion?
Control shutdown, exactly that. And then exactly the same in the reverse. So when the system detects there's been power, it'll power cycle the full system, but then run it slowly back up so it reboots.
So is that to save times when the supply does come back on? So if we've kept the brain for Control4 on during the power cut, the reboot system's obviously considerably easier. Is that the idea?
It can come on faster, but what that'll mean is there's just no chance of damaging that device really. That's the main thing that we look for, to avoid it being off for a prolonged period of time.
Which could cause them to lose maybe some of their connectivity when it comes back on?
Yeah, just the reason that we do a phase cycle, so there's the PDU can look after 8 devices basically, so there's 8 IEC connections on the back of there. So we'll have it turn on your internet service provider router first, so we'll get internet on, and then 60 seconds later our Pakedge router will come on. 60 seconds later, the network will come on. 60 seconds later, Control4 will come on. So we'll get all our network devices up and running first. Things that are maybe power over Ethernet, over a data cable like a touchscreen. That's all up and running. Control4 brain kicks in at about 240 seconds. It's exactly 240 seconds. That kicks in there, and then the rest of your devices around that can come on after. So what this means for us is we're trying to build a system that's reliable. Technology is great when it's working right, but when it's wrong, it can obviously cause issues. So we do everything we can within our systems to minimise those issues. And let's be honest, it's technology. Technology can go wrong at the best of times. So we build fail-safes into the system to give A, clients a bit of peace of mind, B, make them comfortable with resetting if it was. So rather than them thinking, don't know what, you just switch straight off. So by building it into the touchscreen, we build it into this lighting keypad here actually has resets on. So if a client's having a problem with the network or the AV equipment, there's literally a lighting button on there. AV on network, they can press that and it'll cycle the devices within the rack it needs to do there.
Oh wow, so it's actually using a lighting control system to reboot the system essentially?
Yeah, basically.
That's brilliant.
Obviously that one falls over though, so if Control4 itself is having an issue, obviously lighting keypads won't work. So we've got a little scrolling display on here. So there's an LCD on the front of it, and we can scroll through, so we can see there, number 1's doing Xbox and Blu-ray, 2's doing the network, we're up to 4, we've got the Ear 3, 5 is another Control4 device, so they can scroll through there, click it, and it'll power cycle the device on there. So they've got multiple options of doing it depending on what state this to what level the system's having issues.
Oh, brilliant. And of course, I would imagine you're always on hand on the phone to talk them through that.
I mean, if we get calls, calls are obviously usually the best way to get hold of us.
Brilliant.
But yeah, get back to messages when we can.
A considerable amount of cabling to make a system look wireless, I would suggest.
A lot of wires to make wireless, that's the one.
I love it, brilliant. Wow.
And then another one you just did, we had it before. The most expensive cable in a smart home or any system
is the one that you don't put in.
Exactly that. So like on this box here, whereas the client's got this level of system in, we've got some space for it to expand and maybe some devices may come out. But you can see on here where there's a lot of ports actually on there that have nothing plugged into them. And that's because we've done what we call a pre-wire. So we only actually have in this room, this cinema room here, and the kitchen audio. But every room within the house is wired. So you can see you've got their bathroom, master bedroom, ensuite, bedroom 2, bedroom 3. We've got all those there, so if we did want audio, we can just put it in and plug it into there.
And is that just kind of part of your company philosophy, if you like, that, you know, even if the client says they don't want speakers in the bedroom,
we'll probably put it in anyway.
Put the cable in, and then if down the line they change the
you
line,
look a hero.
It's ready to go.
So,
you look a hero.
So when the client's saying, look at my ceilings, you know, there's no loft void at this house, you know, there's no way of getting back through the building. So if you ever did want a speaker down there, I mean, it's probably costing this house an extra £200 to put those wires in terms of just the speaker wires. So 4 speaker runs down there. But in terms of future, if you ever says to me, which he has done already, want speakers in the bedroom and in the office, I've literally just got to get my pad saw out, cut it out, and the jobs are good. And
that's phenomenal customer service.
Future-proofing your own work, putting the cables in, and then getting the
I'd rather do that. I'd like to think we could look after and keep our customers for the longevity that they have their system, and they wouldn't look at going elsewhere. So if anything, all I'm doing is making my life easier further down the line. Touch wood.
Well, that's brilliant. Well, thank you so much for that information. A bit more depth about the smart home that you've created here. And I think, again, we don't need to be fearful of this stuff. We need to embrace it and get educated.
It's going nowhere. The smart home industry, if anything, is going to keep growing and growing and growing. So embrace it.
Time to get on board and take advantage of that. So did you see all the hard work and effort that Rich Heppel and Art of Smart put into the smart tech in that house, Gary?
No, I didn't, because it was stealth, Joe, wasn't it? It was hidden within the fabric of the building.
Absolutely. Once again, Art of Smart under-promised and over-delivered on the property.
They certainly did. But as we walk out of that property, I think we ought to have a Kevin MacLeod version of exiting that property, Joe. Can you do it for us?
Yeah, I think I know what Kevin would say. I think he'd say something along the lines of, you know, there's a very real danger when you start to try and bring about the juxtaposition of high-end technology with the core of a beautiful home. One tends to dominate the other, and there can be a wrestling between the two. However, I feel that in this property, Rich Heppel and Art of Smart have managed to seamlessly integrate the technology and give this beautiful home a beating, sensuous heart. And I think they've managed to achieve that.
Joe, did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Good.